In this session of GPAT KAKSHA, we will learn about densities of powder and its determination part 2. In part 1, we have learned about true density and how to determine true density. In this part, we will discuss about granular density and bulk density. Granular density is the density of powder which is determined using granular volume. Now, what is granular volume? Granular volume is the volume which includes volume of actual solid particle along with intraparticular volume but excludes interparticle volume. Means it is the volume, granular volume is the volume which includes the actual solid particle volume plus the intraparticle spaces which are present within the particle. So granular volume includes the intraparticular spaces as well as the actual solid volume of the particle, but it excludes the interparticle volume. It excludes this volume. It excludes the interparticle, means gaps, voids which are present between two particles. Granular volume do not count this volume. It only includes the actual solid particle volume plus the cracks and holes, pores present on the particle within the particle. Granular density can be determined by use of Mercury displacement method, as mercury fills the voids between the particle but unable to penetrate into intraparticle spaces or pores. Granular density can be determined by use of Mercury displacement method. When mercury is introduced into the powder sample, it gets penetrated into the interparticle spaces, but it fails to penetrate into the intraparticle spaces. Mercury is unable to penetrate into intraparticle spaces, due to which what happens? These intraparticle spaces volume get counted and we will get granular density. So at normal atmospheric pressure, mercury is unable to penetrate into intraparticular spaces which are up to of 10 micrometer, and just it fills the voids, means interparticle spaces between the particles, and we can get the granular density. Mercury is introduced into this container and the volume of the container is noted. First, in the empty container, mercury is introduced and the volume of mercury to fill the container is noted. Let it be V1 ml. Again, the container is emptied and a weighed amount of powder sample is introduced into it. Now again the container is emptied and a fixed weighed amount of powder sample is introduced into it. Then again the mercury is introduced into the container. After introducing the powder sample, again the mercury is introduced into the container, and this time again the volume of mercury required to fill the container is noted. So V1 will be greater than V2, means volume of mercury required to fill the empty container will be greater than volume of mercury required to fill the container along with the powder sample, because the powder sample particles as well as the intraparticle spaces of the powder occupies some volume, so definitely V2 will be less than V1. The difference in the volume of mercury occupying the empty container and the mercury volume occupying the container with filled powder sample gives the granular volume of powder sample. So what is granular volume? The volume of mercury required to fill the empty container minus the volume of mercury required to fill the container along with the powder sample. So this will gives Vg or granular volume. Now as a fixed quantity, a weighed amount of powder was introduced, so using the density formula weight upon granular volume, the granular density can be easily calculated. Okay, this is granular density. So granular density is weight of the powder sample upon granular volume. Now bulk density. It is the density of powder which is obtained using bulk volume. Now what is bulk volume? Bulk volume is the volume of actual solid particle along with intraparticle spaces as well as interparticle spaces. Now bulk volume includes the volume of actual solid particle as well as interparticle spaces as well as intraparticle spaces. Means bulk volume is this whole volume. If you are able to notice, this whole volume will be calculated as bulk volume because it includes the volume of actual solid particle. It also includes the cracks, intraparticle spaces, and also it includes the gaps between the two different powder particles. So the sum total of all these three gives bulk volume. So bulk volume is the volume of actual powder particle plus interparticle spaces as well as intraparticle spaces. It can be simply determined by using a graduated cylinder. This is a graduated cylinder, means a cylinder on which marking is done for a definite volume can be measured. So in this measuring cylinder, simply a weighed amount of powder is introduced and the volume is noted from the marking. A weighed amount of a powder sample is weighed and then it introduced into the graduated cylinder or measuring cylinder, and the volume is simply noted, that how much volume it occupies. This volume is known as bulk volume. Means the volume, this volume is known as bulk volume. Now as the weight is known, we have introduced a fixed weighed amount of powder into the measuring cylinder. Bulk density can be easily calculated as weight upon the bulk volume. This is bulk volume, and the bulk density can be calculated as weight upon bulk volume. So if we summarize all these three types of volume, the bulk volume is the volume of actual solid particle plus intraparticle spaces, means the pores present within the particle, as well as interparticle space, means gaps between different particles. Granular volume is the volume of actual solid particle plus intraparticle space. It do not includes interparticle space. And true volume is the volume of actual solid particle only. And how the density can be calculated as a fixed weight quantity of powder has been used. So this bulk volume, when weight of that powder is divided by bulk volume, you will get bulk density. When weight is divided by granular volume, you will get granular density. And when weight is divided by true volume, you will get true density. So this is all about the three different types of density. For practicing MCQs and to learn important one-liners, follow GPAT KAKSHA on Instagram. The link of same is given in description. Study well, keep yourself motivated, always keep smiling. Stay tuned for next topic. Thanks a lot.